The first is how we've tried to work to empower small and medium enterprises, SMEs, in the agricultural and food sector, and particularly in Africa. And we've done this most visibly through the Zero Hunger Private Sector Pledge. That's a partnership with many organizations, including GAIN and FAO. And it encourages SMEs or companies of all size to invest in agriculture and food systems in poor countries, low and middle income countries. So I'm really proud about the achievements of that pledge, particularly in a context where you see most companies walking away from commitments, not wanting to make pledges, not wanting to be part of alliances. In our case, we've still managed to keep that momentum. This year alone, we've been able to raise an additional $30 million. So that's super exciting. The second is us focusing at the country level. So trying to ignore the noise at the global level and really zoom down on what can we achieve with our partners in country. And there's 6 countries that we've been focusing on, not easy countries. We've got countries like Madagascar, where you've just had a coup d'etat. We've got the Democratic Republic of Congo that is in conflict at the moment. But we've also got countries like Zambia, Cambodia, Benin in West Africa, and Bangladesh. And we've really tried to work with our partners in these countries, government and civil society, to try and say, what can the government do to make things better? What can they invest in to end hunger and malnutrition, to improve the plight of the small farmer who's resource poor, and also to take climate action, both mitigation and adaptation. The third is our work on market power. Probably the one that's closest to my heart, because it's the one that I've been so worried about, seeing what's happening in the world. And here we work together with the Centre for Competition Regulation and Economic Development at the University of Johannesburg. We call them CRED. And here we've come together to use data and research on prices to help the competition regulators in Africa figure out where is the anti-competitive conduct. Where are markets not working? Where are companies charging too much for basic goods like eggs, milk, animal feed, poultry? And we've worked really closely with the Kenyan regulator, with the Zambian regulator, even with the Rwandan regulator, to try and make markets work better. And then lastly, I think we've come to terms with the fact that the aid sector is no longer what it was, and that it's time to think about how to reduce countries' dependencies on foreign aid. There's been problems with foreign aid for decades that we've all known about, but I think there's really a crunch time now that says we can no longer rely on a handful of countries, wealthy countries, to provide this foreign aid. And we need to find alternative sources of finance. So we've developed a whole program on finance, looking for really creative ways to crowd in other sources of finance.